So we got quite a bit of news today from the Washington Commanders. A lot of different topics to talk about today for the Washington Commanders. They made some moves today. First things first, Washington has just signed a 6'5" wide receiver to the practice squad. Then earlier today, a new update on RFK Stadium looks like Washington has a really good chance to return back to the city. Also, Dan Quinn speaks the truth about Jayden Daniels' injury. So, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here. We have the Washington Commanders video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about everything I just said in the intro. So, without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload new videos like this to the channel. We're on the road to 8,000 subscribers, so it'd be greatly appreciated if you haven't reached that goal as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Let's get straight into today's video. So first things first, the Washington Commanders went out and made a move today as they went and they signed a wide receiver to the practice squad by the name of Michael Straction ahead of their Week 12 matchup versus the Dallas Cowboys. He's a former wide receiver of the Carolina Panthers. Now, let's read a little bit about it. The Washington Commanders made a roster move before Week 12 battle against the NFC East opponent, the Dallas Cowboys. They're on a 2-game skid after a brutal Thursday night football loss to the Philadelphia Eagles. As the Commanders are scooping out a potential playoff berth, they've got to prove they can face this adversity and come away with a big victory over the Dallas Cowboys. Fortunately, all signs point towards Washington being able to bounce back against the Dallas Cowboys, as the Cowboys is fresh off a 34-10 Monday Night Football loss to the Houston Texans, and they look like a flat-out bad football team. Ahead of the Week 12 contest, the Washington Commanders signed wide receiver Michael Straction to their practice squad, bringing even more depth to the position. The 4-year, 6'5" wide receiver has 3 years of experience under his belt, and he's most recently played with the Carolina Panthers. Then you go down a little bit further. Straction has 23 appearances and 1 start under his belt. With 15 targets, the Charleston product had 6 catches for 130, with his long reception being 45 yards. The 2021 7th-round pick selection was with the Indianapolis Colts before the Panthers. He will join the Commanders practice squad in the same week in which they host the Dallas Cowboys and is a 10.5-point favorite to win that game. So that's a little bit about the Michael Straction guy. Honestly, you guys know how I typically feel about these practice squad signings. We always make these videos. Oh, this guy is a beast, a freak. He could potentially do this, do that for the Washington Commanders. And then it turns out he does anything, nothing really. So I don't really expect much out of Michael Straction. I don't expect to hear nothing from him. I don't know if this necessarily was a move that was made due to the fact that we could potentially have some guys banged up at that position, maybe. I'm not really sure, but we struggle with getting our guys the ball already outside of Noah Brown. It seems like even Terry McLaurin at times, especially Thursday night, only had 2 targets. So I really don't see the opening of this guy's contributing to the team. I think this is just a body that can go on the practice squad because maybe another guy is being elevated off the practice squad this week, so they have to fill the practice squad roster. I don't know. Maybe Noah Brown's still dealing with that injury that he sustained a couple weeks ago that held him out. Terry McLaurin, he got pulled early in that Eagles game. I don't know if it was for an injury. I don't think it is, but there was some questions about that. But other than that, I don't really necessarily think it's much for the Washington Commanders. Nothing much you should really keep an eye on. Michael Straction, he is an experienced vet. He has been in the league for 4 years, so he does provide that experience. He also provides size at the outside position, and that's something that we pretty much lack outside of Noah Brown, honestly. So 6'5" definitely is a big football player and big wide receiver that we could potentially use. But again, I don't necessarily know if he'll actually get the opportunity for Washington to be played for Washington on the active roster. He is from VA, Lynchburg. I don't think that's DMV VA though. I think that's further out VA, like near Liberty University. So Yeah, that's a little bit about him. Again, not much to really talk about him or say anything about him because it's not much out there about him besides him being 6'5", 225. That is, crazy, stature and crazy size, and that is a big build, a DK Metcalf esque build out there. But until I see anything about taking him seriously or about us using him on the active roster, if we do, I don't really think there's much here to talk about. It is cool to see us still making moves and signings, but there is nothing too serious, I would say, taken away from signing Michael Straction. But we'll see as he's now a part of the Washington Commanders practice squad. Moving on to the next topic, I wanted to talk about Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn had a press conference yesterday, and he basically said Jayden Daniels is not hurt. I'm gonna let you guys listen in on DQ, and then I'm gonna come back and give my thoughts on what Coach Quinn had to say.
Clearly and honestly, Jayden is not injured right now, but we did lose valuable practice time, John, with him and his teammates when he was injured. And that's hard on all the guys. It's a really, really important part of what we do, and we don't have banked reps in years. So we're very much looking forward to getting back onto a full week and regular practice sessions with the guys. So over the last few weeks, we've had to, put that together in small bits. So um, that's what I think into that space. And as we're heading into this week, we're looking forward to getting a full week of our practice and, work the things that we need to.
So that's what Coach Quinn had to say about Jay Daniels and him not being hurt. This isn't just me being a homer. This isn't just me rooting for Jaden Daniels and wanting to see him do good. But I don't think that's true. I understand what Coach Quinn is trying to say. He's trying to say he's not hurt. Um, but I don't think that's true because if he wasn't hurt, then you wouldn't be getting wrapped up every single play. You wouldn't have told the beat reporter prior to Thursday Night Football you're gonna see me Winston. You wouldn't be seeing how lethargic he is when taking off the run. You know, I think he's hurt. I don't think he's hurt to the point where he can't play, but he definitely is hurt because he's clearly being hindered. He's clearly not playing how he was prior to the Carolina Panthers game. I still believe in Jayden Daniels. I still want Jayden Daniels to thrive. So I don't want you guys to think, oh, um, I'm not trying to hold him accountable for his actions on Thursday because he played poorly. Yes, he definitely did not have his best game, but I don't think it's not because he's not hurt. I do think it's part of because he's dealing with the injury. Come on, Jayden Daniels prior to the injury would never throw a ball in the dirt, but in front of Noah Brown. He wouldn't struggle getting the ball out to these receivers. He wouldn't struggle with trying to throw a deep ball. Like this stuff was not happening prior to the rib injury. And I think even with the rib injury, he wasn't given a full 7 days to recover. So it's a difference when you play on Sunday and you don't play to the next following Sunday. So you have a full week of treatment and getting your body right for the following game. But then when you play a brutal game on Sunday versus the Steelers, then you got to turn around and only get Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 days to prepare your body. It's going to obviously take an effect on you. I guarantee this, and I say this with all honest and truth in me. If this Eagles game was pushed to Sunday and not on Thursday, I'm not going to say we would have won, but we would have seen a better performance out of Jayden Daniels than what we've seen. I think that's a big reason as to why he played bad. So I understand what DQ's trying to say. I think he's trying to just say Jayden isn't hurt so people could maybe stop worrying, stop questioning if that's the reason why he played bad. He said we truly haven't had real practice reps and stuff like that, given the fact that he was hurt a few times, for a few weeks, and they haven't been able to practice with him, probably resting him throughout the week so that he can be ready for game time. So I agree with that part of it, where it's, typically if he was healthy, he would practice Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But since he's not 100% healthy, he may be limited on Wednesday, or he may sit out Wednesday. He may practice on a limited capacity on Thursday, and then he may ramp it up on Friday, where opposed to you just ramping it up all week or letting him practice normal all week, you have to somewhat be careful with how you use him or exert him throughout the practice week because you want him to be as healthy as he can be for Sunday. So I do agree with that part of it, DQ. I understand you've lost valuable practice time, and that could be another reason as to why he hasn't played his best over the last couple of weeks. But as far as him just not being hurt, and that's what you want to say, I disagree with that, because he wouldn't be getting his body wrapped up. He wouldn't be taking extra precautions. He wouldn't be getting his body worked on through practice, specifically targeting that rib area if that wasn't still bothering him. But again, Jayden Daniels is my QB1. I see a lot of people on Twitter turning their heads on him because Bo Nix has somehow, worked his way into this Rookie of the Year conversation, and I've been seeing a lot of people turning on 5. That ain't never been me and never will be me. I know what 5 is capable of, and that's just the honest truth. I'm not trying to not hold him accountable for his performance on Thursday, but I think a lot of the reason why he didn't perform well was because of the quick turnaround, lack of practice, and a lack of rest that he got for that rib. When my man 5 get back healthy, I want y'all to really judge him then, because he's going to be back right to himself shortly. Now, let's go ahead and get to the next topic here. The next topic is going to be Washington and the RFK site. Obviously, as we know, Washington is going to be eventually looking for a new home at some point in the near future. I think we're still tied to FedEx Field for about until 2027. So I do think Washington is going to obviously go nowhere for the next couple of years. However, we do have to start looking for a new home. And, because building a stadium, it takes about, I want to say maybe 2 years, 3 years maybe, to build a stadium. So it is, ticking, because we're at the end of 2024. So before you know it, Washington is going to be having to look for a new home, and the search has never really stopped. I think Washington so desperately wants to get it back into DC, and I think Washington believes that the only site that is really there is, RFK. For a lot of you inner city people, I'm right on the outskirts in PG County, so I'm nothing but maybe 10 minutes away from the inner city. But for you people that actually live in DC still, where do you think Washington could put the stadium if RFK isn't the only place that it could go? I don't know if it can go down Navy Yard. I don't know if they could maybe put it near the National Stadium. I'm not really sure, because obviously we know there's so much stuff that's going on inside the inner city that I don't know if there's any space for the Washington Commanders to build a big stadium outside of maybe RFK. But we'll see, and we'll read this article. It says the Commanders continue their search for new stadium. Stadium One possibility has gotten a boost from Congress via AJ Perez of frontofficesports.com. A bill that would make the site of RFK Stadium a viable destination emerges from the Senate Energy and National Resources Committee by a vote of 17-2. Said a Commander spokesman via Perez, the vote today brings us one step closer towards continuing conversation with D.C. alongside with Maryland and Virginia as a potential future home for our franchise. That's the key. It's not just about D.C. It's about Maryland, and it's about Virginia too. Three-way leverage, if played properly, gets the Commanders the best possible deal. So that is the mini little excerpt that they've had about the Washington Commanders and RFK. So something positive happened. It's, again, not guaranteed that Washington is going to move back to RFK. Nothing is really guaranteed about us moving back to RFK. I understand for the older fans, and I understand for the nostalgia. It would be great for the team to return back to where we were most successful. But as I already mentioned before, anytime I go to FedEx Field, I have a good time. It's close to me. It ain't nothing but 15 minutes, 20 minutes away, so it's real close to me. I mean, granted, if it's in Virginia, long as it ain't, like, out the way, like, you know what I'm saying, like Tyson's Corner, like, if it's Tyson's Corner, that's still 45 minutes, but, like, as long as it ain't all the way out there, like, then we cool. Like, if it's Arlington, Alexandria, that's cool. That ain't nothing but past Oxon Hill, bro, by the harbor. So, for wherever it's at, it's not that far for DC residents, Maryland residents, Virginia residents. Obviously, y'all, we all in one area. But if I had my pick, cause I'm closer to FedEx Field, why not just build it on the grounds of FedEx Field? I don't know. That's my thought, and I'm probably being a little selfish because I'm closer to FedEx Field, but for the team's sake and for the fan base sake, obviously you want it back in DC. Washington Commanders. We ain't the Maryland Commanders, VA Commanders. We Washington Commanders. So obviously you would want it back into the actual city that it's technically from. However, again, that's may not be the case because all I hear about is RFK. I don't hear about other potential landing spots inside the city that Washington could end up. As far as Maryland goes, I hear down by the MGM. I hear other places like building it on the FedEx Field grounds, and then VA. I done heard different places, across the bridge in Virginia too. So I really don't know where we're going to end up. But this does, for the RFK people, this does vote positive for you that the Senate has done this for RFK, basically giving Washington an opportunity to, maybe consider moving back to the grounds of RFK. Again, this doesn't necessarily guarantee anything. And for my fandom's sake, I would love for it to be back in the city and be back in DC. For my selfish sake, build it on the grounds of FedEx Field so I could be 10 minutes, 15 minutes away. But yeah, man, we'll see. It's going to be here faster than we know it. Before you know it, blink of an eye, we're going to start construction on a stadium because we have to be out of FedEx Field. I want to say the lease ends up on 2027. Let me do a quick search right quick just to double check. But I believe the lease is up on 2027 for FedEx Field. Or excuse me. Sorry, I keep calling it FedEx Field. Northwest Federal Stadium. But yeah, the current lease on the stadium in Landover, Maryland runs through 2027, and the new naming rights does not preclude the team from opening a new one before the deal completion in 2032. So the Washington Commanders, have a deal with Northwest Stadium to 2032. But the FedEx Field grounds, or the Northwest Stadium grounds, like I said, lease ends on 2027. So Washington is going to open up a new stadium, whether it's in D.C., Maryland, or Virginia, with the name Northwest Stadium. So it's not going to stop us from moving. The new name isn't going to stop us from moving, which I don't think anyone had a doubt about that. But that's good knowledge that I just got by a quick Google search. So I'll keep you guys updated on the possible stadium change, obviously when something is confirmed. But as of right now, ain't nothing necessarily confirmed, but this does vote positive for our RFK lovers and our people that wanted to return back to their initial grounds. All right, now moving to this last topic of today. I gotta talk about it. I gotta dead this because people are really pissing me off. Now, what are you talking about, Juan? I am talking about the Eagle fans, the talking heads on TikTok, Instagram, TV, talking about Quinn Mitchell shut down Terry McLaurin. Now, let me start by saying this, okay? Quinn Mitchell, hell of a talent, right? Great rookie sensation, been really good. Shut down, quote unquote, Jamar Chase and Mike Evans and all these star receivers, right? And you can add Terry McLaurin to this mix according to these talking heads. Now, not taking no credit away from Quinn Mitchell, but when you turn on the All-22, and this is not just me being a Washington Commanders fan, but this is what I kept trying to tell people that would try to come to me and say, oh, Quinn Mitchell, shut him down. Quinn Mitchell, shut him down. When you watch the actual game, did he really shut him down? Or did the Washington Commanders offense not do him no favor? Jayden Daniels and also the Eagles running too high shell for the whole game. Now, again, not taking nothing away from the Eagles defense and Vic Fangio as a whole. Do what you got to do to exclude Terry McLaurin out of the game. Great job. But don't get up here acting as if Quinn Mitchell, mano y mano by himself, took Terry McLaurin out of the game. That's not the case. It was Cooper DeJean. It was on one side or on double teaming, having a safety over the top help. Or it's CJ Gardner Johnson not leaving the side of Terry McLaurin the whole game, making sure he's over there for safety help. Again, that's not an issue. That is cool. That is fine. You're supposed to do that. You're supposed to be the safety help to the receiver. Obviously, I get that. But the issue is when you show stats of Quinyon Mitchell holding Terry McLaurin to 0 catches, etc., like he did that himself. That's not the case. All right, y'all. So that's the video for today. Let me know what you guys think about this down below in the comment section. As always, it's been your boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 8,000 subscribers, so it'd be greatly appreciated if you help me reach that goal as soon as possible. Thank you so much. See y'all later. I'm out. Peace.